This is the road to Master's Hook, which is the one we take to get to Modderfontein, where Smuts engaged the 17th Lancers, overcame them and refitted his commando in 1901. Smuts's commando came down from these mountains into this valley here and down the direction towards us where the road now goes, and the rake section, which Deneys Ritz was part of, charged through here after the British troopers to this position here where the stone outcrop is. You can actually make out a couple of the graves of the British cemetery just behind those bushes. And this is the view down the rest of the valley in the direction of the Craddock Road. This is the mass grave where the 17th Lancers men are buried. The 38 names recorded on the first monument and the other 3 are for officers, their special graves. And this is on the farm Modderfontein, about 28 kilometers outside of Takestad on the Elands River Road. The scenery around here is really quite spectacular. The rocky outcrop immediately behind the grave is the position that the rake section charged into, which is well described in Deneys Ritz's book Commando, and from where they fired down on the British camp immediately behind where I'm standing. For glory, boys. Well, here it was death. Men of the Royal Garrison Artillery, who are all described as Rate shot 2 of them and Muller got another one. And I don't know if I got the names on this end of the memorial. Let's see, the bottom one is Walker, okay. And on this side they're not so easy to see. Lieutenant Philip Leslie Russell. Then Lieutenant Richard Brinsley Sheridan, who tried so hard to kill Rates but was shot by Jack Dorius before he could get the final shot in. This is the outcrop of rocks that Rates and his comrades of the rake section actually got to. The British troopers of the 17th Lancers had got just across the other side and were, as he said, almost within handshaking distance of each other. Rates got down here to the left-hand side where the rocky outcrop runs dead, and from there you could see the gunners somewhere behind this thorn bush with the field gun or the mountain gun trying to shoot at the other Boers who were coming up about 600 yards back. Rock outcrop over beyond the British cemetery, looking down towards the kraal in the distance. Between us and the kraal stood the British camp, all the tent lines. In amongst these rocks that this very grim, very fast little fight took place, where most of the British soldiers were killed. They were trying to take cover from men who were much better at snap shooting than they were. Charged and overcame the survivors behind the rock ridge. They dashed down into the British camp, which is about here, and ransacked the place. Rates and one of his friends made for this kraal. When they peered over the wall, they found there were a number of British soldiers behind it who had not surrendered and didn't accept that the camp had been taken. The wall is quite low from the side, and peering over the wall, they perceived the British soldiers on the far end shooting at other men that were coming through the camp. They fired at them, and a couple were hit, and they were called upon to surrender, but they didn't. They charged back to this side wall. One thrust his rifle over the top, fired at Ritz. The cordite burnt his face. He grabbed the bloke's rifle and he pulled it back with such force that the foresight tore Ritz's hand. He ran around the side of the wall and found another man sneaking up on them, about to shoot them in the rear. But as soon as he crashed into Ritz, he surrendered, and they became chums after that. The kraal wall that Ritz would have approached about this height, which is just below my shoulder height. Peering over, they would have found men inside, down at that end. This is where some rather serious fighting took place, and for a moment they were very concerned that the action going on here could jeopardize their assault. Anyway, they got these men to surrender with some help, and he would have skedaddled around this corner here. I was just assume that he didn't see another man who had got out through that bottom gate. His way down the side wall, a man came out of this entrance, or alternatively got down to the bottom, and the British soldier coming out of the bottom entrance collided with Ritz. The British soldier said, "My surprise package," and surrendered to him as they crashed into each other.